Boom, shaka, laka, boom. We're live here on the Clay Edwards Show. Back in the saddle again, as Steven Tyler would say. Oh, man, old Steven Tyler. I've been watching a lot of Behind the Musics lately. I need to go back and watch the Aerosmith one again. Anyway, it's the free-range human show of choice. It's your daily dose of reality radio. After a couple days off this week, I feel like I'm finally back in the saddle again. You had a little stomach issue yesterday morning. Didn't want to get stuck in a bad situation between Brandon and Flora, so I chose to not leave Brandon yesterday morning. Shout out to the boss man for being able to get a replay plugged in on extremely short notice. Could have been a bad situation. Could have been a crappy situation. We'll just say that. But, hey, good morning to everybody out there. Good morning to all the kids on y'all's way to school. Check out one more day? Y'all got school next week, or y'all out the whole week for Thanksgiving? We used to just get out on Thursday and Friday. That was the only days off, if I remember correctly. But I feel like kids get more time off from school than they used to. Y'all go longer, but you have more extended breaks and stuff. Anyway, shout out to all the kids on the roads this morning. Thank y'all for listening. It's always so cool when I'm out and about and I meet families and y'all introduce me to your young kids that start listening to the show because they're in the car with you. I'm going to give a shout out here real quick to the folks that work at PetSense. Kevin does the grooming. Good dude. They did my dog a couple days ago for the second time now, my new dog that I got from the Rescue League. And there are a couple of ladies that work there, and I apologize, can't remember their names off the top of my head, but one of them was telling me that her daughter, who I think is 15, 16, something like that, she wanted a Fafo shirt because Mama got one. So I gave her a Fafo shirt. And she said, yep, she listens every day. She texts me and said, did you hear what Clay said? So I just love that, man. I think it's so cool that we're impacting a younger generation. You know, I watched this or listened to this, and whatever. It was on YouTube, but it was in my earbuds, but I was at the gym yesterday. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s sister's his business partner, Kelly Earnhardt. And they're bringing back, they got the rights back from the Wicked Witch of NASCAR, Teresa Earnhardt, for the number 8 and the design and all that stuff from the Bud era, Dale Earnhardt. And they're bringing it back. And I think Dale's doing like an ARCA race or something like that, one of the lower tier NASCAR races. And he's bringing back the red paint scheme, the number 8, Budweiser, all that. But they were talking to the guy who helped launch that deal. And it was just really cool. And I was going somewhere with that and just had a complete brain fart all up in the middle of that as I was explaining what I was watching. There was a reason I was explaining. Yes, it was talking about Budweiser. And the reason, if you'll go back in time and you'll remember, at that moment around 99, 2000, 2001, Bud was kind of considered your grandpa's beer. It had lost, Budweiser in particular, had kind of lost its cool factor. Fast forward to now, and they got a real problem on their hands still. But at this time, it didn't have that cool factor. And also the Kenny Schrader was their driver. They wasn't winning a lot. Rusty Wallace was he driving the Blue Deuce back then, the Miller Lite number 2, or was he still driving the Black Genuine Draft number 2? Either way, he was winning. He was on a tear, and Bud just wasn't cool. And this guy talked him into getting Dale Jr. as the sponsor or as their driver. The rest is history, but he made a point about you've got to always be getting younger. Brands can get old. And you've always got to look at ways to grow. I don't know if you want to say grow your brand, but make sure that the next generation coming up behind is into your brand too. You want to start, like they wanted to activate people buying Bud at 21 years old. Like they want Bud to be their first beer, and usually you get a customer for life, or until you put a transgender dude in a bathtub trying to sell it to kids. But that's neither here nor there. My point about the young kids listening on the radio this morning, I love that we're resonating with the younger audience, and that's why I do TikTok, and that's why I do Instagram, and that's why I do social media like I do. I understand that if I want to do this for an extended amount of time, folks my age and older, we're gonna age out. we gotta have people coming up behind that are listening, that are engaged, that are entertained, that are out there, boots on ground. You know, my friend Sarah Woods, shout out to Sarah, her daughter Ella is really fun to watch because Ella has been doing this since she was in her mid to late teens, and she's in her early 20s now. And I just think it's really cool when you get young kids that are fired up and passionate. And we got a lot of those in Mississippi. My daughter, she's not what I would say politically active, but she's been a big Trump supporter for the last 5 or 6 years, and she keeps up with it. And she's only 22. And I just love that. At 22, that's not where my mind was at. But that also shows you the social and pop culture relevance of a Donald Trump, of MAGA. And a lot of us were Trump supporters when it wasn't cool to be a Trump supporter. I mean, you know, I've said this before, you kind of had to, you had to be ready, willing, and somewhat able to fight if you were going to be a public Trump supporter. Now it's like punk rock. Now it's cool. Now it's like buying a what's a good example here? It's like buying an Affliction shirt at Walmart. You know, it's cool now, like buying a CBGB, you know, that punk rock bar from New York, is it CBGB's? Like buying a CBGB shirt at Walmart. So anyway, I didn't mean to jump down that rabbit hole with y'all this morning, but I was just thinking, you know, that I do find it really cool, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk to young kids in the morning. That's why I try to keep the somewhat adult content for the second hour when they get out of the car, because I don't want to have to apologize too much for things that we say or topics we discuss. Look, the Guns and Gear text line, if you guys want to chime in this morning, 769-241-1944. Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. Would love to hear from you all this morning. Lane texts in on the Guns and Gear text line. It says, speaking of beer, please tell me you have seen the bar, have seen the bar, seen Fiam on the new show Landman. Oh, no, I haven't watched Landman yet. It is on my list on Paramount Plus there. The new Billy Bob Thornton's version of Yellowstone. Definitely plan on watching that. All right, so I got to get my notes pulled up here. We're definitely going to actually talk about some stuff this morning. Not just Clay rambling about Budweiser and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Because I love sports business and entertainment business, like actually the nuts and bolts of the business side of stuff and how it works, especially in this digital age. And I'm just rambling while I get my notes pulled up here, so y'all bear with me for a second. The Mike Tyson, we didn't get to talk about none of this stuff because I took a Monday off, and then a Tuesday kind of wall-to-wall in here, and Wednesday I missed. But the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight, remove the fight itself, what happened in the ring from the mix. I thought the whole thing was awesome. The spectacle was great. And I really think it was a cool opportunity, and the business side of it is going to redefine over the next few years. Once Netflix gets the streaming stuff fixed, multiple things I want to say here, but let me finish the first thought first. The spectacle was amazing. I thought it was a great way to give Mike Tyson his flowers, to kind of give him, and I know he said he may do it again, but let's just suspend disbelief for a minute and say that this was Mike's last fight, if that's what you want to call it. But his last, marquee main event, walk to the ring, the whole pomp and circumstance. Is there a guy that deserved that more than Mike Tyson? To have 80-some-odd thousand people in a sold-out Cowboys stadium, all the production, I think they said 120 million YouTube. I got the numbers here. I actually saved it the other day. The amount of people that streamed. Now, this is actually people that streamed it, not how many eyeballs were in front of the TV. I still say up to 500 million, with a B, 500 million people watched it. I say it was as many people watched that watched the Super Bowl, if not more. I got to remember who I texted to real quick. Texted to my boy Jake. Let me pull this up. Here it is right here. Netflix says 108 million people or homes or devices, Netflix accounts, streamed that fight. 108 million across the globe. Now, like I said, there was 4 people at my house. No, 3. There was 3 of us at my house watching it. I know people all over the internet were having watch parties. So I think it's real easy to suggest that there were somewhere between 250 million to maybe 500 million people watching that fight. Clay Travis was talking about this the other day on his podcast, not his radio show, but just the Outkick podcast. And obviously Clay Travis works for Fox and Fox Sports and Fox News and all that stuff, owns Outkick or used to own Outkick, still runs it. And he was saying he had spoke with some people, maybe with one of these big streaming services about, streaming NFL games. And they say the technology, as far as we've come, that the technology for 50 million, 100 million people to watch a streaming event exclusively and it not also be on TV, they said we don't have the technology yet to really do that flawlessly. Netflix is trying to develop it somewhat on the fly here. That's why they've been doing a few different live events here and there. And that's why they got their butt kicked with this Tyson fight the other night. Monday Night Raw, WWE, is moving to Netflix starting in January. That they won't have more than a couple of million people watching at any given time. I think they average about 2.5 million people an episode nowadays, which is still good. But I don't think that's going to put a whole lot of stress on the system. But they have a massive game on Christmas Day. Is it Steelers-Ravens, I think? I may be wrong about that. But it was a big matchup. On Christmas Day, NFL, we're going to find out. I don't recall if Amazon had any problems when they streamed the NFL. I know they do it every Thursday night. If they got the technology, maybe Netflix does. But they said we just don't have that technology yet to do 100 some odd million people watching it. That's going to be interesting. What did y'all think about that? But kind of circling back to the fight real quick, or just the event. I thought the 2 Mexican dudes, thought that fight was phenomenal. The girl fight was again phenomenal. They left it all in the ring. 2 real women, not 2 dudes pretending to be women. I'm a boxing fan, like a legitimate fan of boxing. I love MMA too, but just grew up loving boxing like most people my age. I thought the 2 pre-fights were great. And for all the hate people are getting and giving about Tyson, look, man, it was a wrestling type event. It was fun. The smack talk, they sold that fight. They made you care one way or another. Either you wanted to see Mike Tyson knock Jake Paul out, or you wanted to see Jake Paul, rock the old man out of his boots. I just didn't want to see Tyson get hurt. I was like, man, I just don't want to see my guy get hurt. But to be able to jump in the DeLorean and go back to like 1991, 1992, to get to think that I'm getting to watch a Tyson fight with my daughter, for her to get to experience all of that, and the intensity of Mike Tyson walking to the ring, which it lacked a little bit with this one, but still, just the nostalgia. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. I was listening to my first podcast ever, first radio show here ever, on the way in this morning, when it was still called the Save Jackson podcast. Used to actually buy an hour here on WYAB every Saturday. Gambled on myself. Maybe y'all should try that sometime. Gamble on yourself. But the podcast, the first one, was about the Metro Center. And I just shared it to my Facebook page, the Big Clay Edwards Show, when the old Save Jackson, when Facebook/Save Jackson is there. But it was about the Metro, about nostalgia. So they thought that was pretty cool. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. All right, look, let's take our first break. When we come back, let's get into some Jackson chaos. Let's get into mocking and memeing the idiots on The View. And I noticed something yesterday. I'm probably going to hit this thing up first. I'm going to talk about Matt Gaetz for just a minute when we come back. A little wrinkle in this whole thing that I was not aware of. Matt Gaetz Yes, he resigned from Congress. This Congress, not next Congress. So what does that mean? We'll unpack it when we come back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Don't go anywhere. WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. Hope everybody out there is having a great morning as we bring our online audience back in as well. We are streaming in 4K on the Save JXN Facebook, YouTube, and X. We did not get Rumble set up in time this morning, so we are not on Rumble. So I do apologize to our Rumble audience. We will upload the video there after the show, so it will still find its way to Rumble. Real quick here, today's show is going to be brought to you by our friends over at Havana Smoke Shop in Jackson and Havana Cigars on the Res. Look, they're going to be your premium destination for hand-rolled premium cigars in the Jackson metro area. Olivia, Arturo Fuente, Liga Privada, Romeo and Julieta, Macanudo, Monte Cristo, and Perdomo cigars, just to name a few. Come by there. Come by Havana Smoke Shop on 55 North Frontage Road in Jackson, or Havana Cigars on the Res, right over there, close to Willie B's and Fannin Mart, just right there on the Rankin County side of the reservoir. Get your favorite premium cigar and accessories. They got it all at either Havana Smoke Shop in Jackson or Havana Cigars on the Res. And guys, so if it ain't cigar and whiskey weather, I don't know what it is. Crack open nice bottle of Faux Roses from 042 Wine and Spirits, cigar, sit out back around the fire pit. You know, if you got a TV, turn the TV on. If you don't, just cut up some music. If you don't do that, just enjoy the company of the person you're with a nice whiskey on the rocks or however you like it and a good cigar. Man, come on down, young son. Come on down. Enjoy that Havana Smoke Shop. Man, that sounds great, doesn't it? That really does. Hey, I did want to finish up one thought real quick about when I was talking about Netflix and sports business and all of that. I think what you're finally about to see is the death of the pay-per-view model. Once Netflix really gets this figured out, I think the pay-per-view model that UFC is holding on to, I think it goes away. I do. I think Netflix will figure it out pretty quickly, especially with the success of that fight. That, oh man, look at all these fresh signups we just had. Look at all these people who signed up, and I bet you the overwhelming majority don't cancel after 1 month. I mean, you have a few cheap asses and a few, winos. Oh my God, they were buffering. Oh my God, they were buffering. You're going to have that on big jobs. Tell me you've never had to deal with any adversity in your life without telling me you've never had to deal with any adversity in your life when you go through the trouble to cry about the buffering on social media. Get over it. Get over it. We got other things to worry about. But I think you're going to see Netflix, Amazon Prime get into an arms race. Well, they're already in one. I think those are the big two, right? I guess there's Peacock out there, too, who had WWE and all their stuff, but all that's moving to Netflix. I mean, WWE did away with the pay-per-view model 10 years ago, and started doing the WWE Network, and it was $9.99 a month. So they went from having to pay $50 a pay-per-view every month to only having to pay $10 for a pay-per-view every month. It's a win-win for the consumer. So I think you're going to see Netflix, Amazon Prime, possibly Peacock. I hear people talk about Apple, maybe Hulu. I don't know, but maybe some of these big streaming services. But I think it's Netflix, Amazon Prime, then everybody else. They're going to start buying these big fights from the promoters and putting them on there. Will you end up seeing UFC on there? I mean, I think you could, but you're talking about that's $1 billion plus a year. They would probably have to pay for those pay-per-view rights to put all their pay-per-views on a streaming service and then lose that money. And they don't just lose that money. I mean, it kills the pay-per-view business for good. They're not going to be able to go back to it if it doesn't work. Of course, ESPN also, but I think it works better for your Netflix and Amazon Prime because a lot of people aren't going to go just sign up for like ESPN Plus. They're just not. I don't care what you put on it. You're going to get more casual fans, like I've kind of turned into nowadays, on Netflix and Amazon. What do you guys think about that? I'd love your thoughts on it. I know it's a political show, but we're talking about something completely different. But I love talking about that stuff. I think you're going to end up seeing way more, and I think you could end up seeing a lot of these mega fights, especially in boxing, that we haven't had the chance to see. I mean, I don't know who they would be right now. I don't want to get into all that and bore you guys that don't watch this stuff to death, but I think the money that Netflix and Amazon can offer these people, because it doesn't have to necessarily be about that event making money on that day. It's about signing up new subscribers and them staying on the platform, kind of like a casino giving you a free meal to try to keep you in there. And it's kind of the long-term play. The longer you stay, the more they make. Same concept here. The longer you're paying $19.99 a month or whatever your package costs, the more money they make. And then you scale that to millions and millions of people that a big event brings in that may not have already been there. They find something they like. Boom. That's what I'm pulling for. Anyway, I would like to see the death of the pay-per-view model. So, all right, let's read a few of your comments real quick, and then we'll move on to our next topic. Let me put y'all on the screen so y'all can read each other's comments too. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Unknown texter on the Guns and Gear text line says, Vince McMahon made the pay-per-view big, then left that model to make streaming main events big. He did. Vince McMahon, I don't think will ever get the credit he truly deserves for being the visionary that he is because of multiple things. Wrestling, but people just don't want to give wrestling credit. I mean, that's just the wrestling is just the hook to get people. But what he did, basically creating the pay-per-view. Did y'all know that Vince McMahon was the promoter for Evel Knievel when he jumped Snake Mountain, Snake River or whatever at the Grand Canyon? Vince McMahon was the promoter for that. It failed. It failed miserably. He lost almost everything with that. His story, if you can remove his current controversy and maybe your dislike for Vince McMahon, his story is phenomenal. I mean, that guy came from nothing, was trailer trash, found out who his dad was, and started working for his dad. His dad owned this wrestling company. It wasn't obviously nothing what it is today, but he's got a great story. He really does. But he'll never get the credit for being the visionary that he is. See here. Unknown text says Mesh of Fargo and Yellowstone. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Blake says, here's a good idea. Let all the trans people fight each other and stream it somewhere. Bet you it has more streams than anything in history. Corinthian says, morning, brother. Tell Google and Facebook to stop interfering with your stream. What are Google and Facebook doing on my stream? Google shouldn't be doing anything to it. Netflix either. Unknown texter. What happened to everyone canceling Netflix because they support the Obamas and others? A lot of people did. But how you get people back is you have good events and you stay out of politics. Like I went through all that canceling stuff because people didn't support. It wasn't that they didn't support my stuff, it's because they openly supported other stuff. I went through all that, and I went through that with the NFL, and I finally just ended up saying, I'm not going to let Democrats, I'm not going to let the terrorists win. We're not going to cede ground. We're going to stay here, and we're going to fight you for it. And we won. We won bigly. We won with our dollars. And then we just had a landslide of an election and told y'all that y'all are the minority. Democrats are the minority. Minority nut jobs. Over 60% of America is MAGA, or at least not Democrat nut job. And we showed that. And y'all saw that And I think we're probably going to play a video of it this morning. Morning Joe, Mia and Joe Scarborough having to go down to Mar-a-Lago and kiss the ring. Kiss Big Daddy Trump's ring. And apologize. Had to apologize for all the things they've said, all the lies they've spewed. So, we won. When you don't cede ground, you win. That's why I went back to X a few years ago after quitting. I realized the error in my ways, saying, well, I will say this. I probably wouldn't be back if Elon hadn't bought it. I mean, I'd opened up my account, but I wasn't posting much. I was just kind of getting news from there for show prep. Because they censored everything conservatives said. It's one thing to go be on the battleground when the odds are even, but when the tech platform or whatever is also censoring your stuff, that's like trying to fight somebody with one hand tied behind your back. You had to become like a word ninja to even post anything and get your point across. That's why I don't make as many TikToks as I used to, because they censor everything that makes Democrats look like them true selves, idiots or pedos. So, you got to do what you got to do, but when you stay and you don't give up the fight and you stay on the battleground, now you've got UFC heavyweight champ John Jones presenting Donald J. Trump with the championship belt. That's a black dude, by the way, in case you don't know. It's real taboo for black dudes to support Trump. They're not supposed to do that. Get your ass back over here on this plantation. That's what the Democrats are saying every time they see a black dude support Trump or a black dude do the Trump dance. What are you doing? Get back over here, boy. They can't stand it. They pulling their purple hair out of their head, throwing their latte across the room, smacking their wife's boyfriend, all upset. Cutting themselves. One of these blackses, I'm getting really fed up with these blackses. They supposed to vote Democrat. But that's what happened when you're winning, baby. So much winning, you're going to get tired of winning. Big Daddy Trump, I ain't got tired of winning yet. Speaking of winning, let's take a break real quick. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. And I guess we'll talk about something that I did show prep for, because we have yet to mention a word of my show prep. Stay tuned. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on 103.9 FM WYAB. Streaming worldwide, WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. Just search WYAB. If you miss any of the show and you don't want to watch on video, the YouTube, Facebook, X, Rumble platforms, we always upload the show as an audio-only podcast as soon as it's over. So by 10 a.m., I've got all the editing done. I got it posted. It's commercial-free. And it's got the live reads. I know the live reads get on y'all's nerves, but you got to remember, without these live reads, none of this exists. None of this exists. So I've had people complain. I've had people say, Clay, they're just too long. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'll try my best to shorten them up a little bit, tighten them up. But I get excited talking about local businesses. I just do. Because I'm very particular about who we let on this show. It's products that I support. It's people I support. It's stuff I get excited about. I mean, I don't get excited about my car breaking down and having to get it fixed. But I get excited by getting to work with a guy like Justin over at A1 Gear and Auto and know that I'm supporting a great local business and knowing it's going to be fixed right the first time, knowing that it's going to be fixed right on time, knowing it's going to be fixed for the price we agreed upon, unless some kind of unforeseen issue arises when you take something apart, maybe something messes up, whatever, But 99.9% of the time, fixed right on time, fixed for the price we agreed on, and most importantly, diagnosed right the first time. Golly, man, have y'all ever done business with a mechanic and it not be diagnosed right the first time? And next thing you know, you done bought a $500 water pump or whatever. I'm just picking a random part here. You're stuck with that water pump. You don't get to put the old one back on and send that back. That ain't how that works. That don't happen at A1 Gear and Auto. Check them out. Highway 49 South in Florence. See what I did there? I turned a rant into a live read. Highway 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. Good folks, good God-fearing folks. Justin and his team over there, love them to death. Don't want to have to go see them for business, but if I do, I look forward to knowing that I'm supporting a great locally owned business. You should too. They also specialize in your ring and pinion, but they can take care of anything from a check engine light, brakes, car running hot, AC not blowing cold, maybe your heater didn't work this morning. They can do it all. The only thing they don't do is diesel engine repair, but they can do everything else to your diesel vehicle. A1 Gear and Auto. All right. You guys are on fire this morning in the comments. Thank y'all for keeping them rolling. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit share wherever you're watching this at, please. Help us grow this show. Help us reach that next generation of young Clay Edwards Show listeners. And maybe they discover somebody else over here at WYAB that they enjoy. So hit that for you, brother, if you don't mind. All right, I can sit here and talk about that stuff we just did the whole show, but because that was fun. That was fun. It was fun visioning how angry little young white, well, not young, but old white liberals are at black folks not going along to get along anymore. But at black folks rocking the boat at let's just say minorities in general, but I've got a lot of black friends growing up here in Jackson, and it's very majority black and white here. So that's why we talk about black and white more so. But shout out to all my Hispanic friends out there, my Mexican MAGA out there. Shout out to y'all. We see you. We see you. I got you back. I got you six, as they say. Thank you. Thank you for stepping up and supporting us and getting on the right team. We need you. You need us. We work together. If you're not watching me on camera, I'm doing silly stuff here. But anyway, it's fun to see the white liberal come undone. I know I played this video the other day, and I'm not going to play it again. And Sean was in here too, of the gay white guy arguing with the black conservative on MSNBC or CNN or one of those shows because the black guy suggested that trans people playing sports cost the Democrats the election, and he came absolutely unhinged about it. And you could tell he wanted to call that black guy an N-word. He wanted to be like, N-word, get back in your place, boy. That's what he wanted to say. That Django Unchained character that Leonardo DiCaprio plays, he was channeling his inner Leonardo DiCaprio from Django. He wanted to say it so bad. He wanted to say it so bad. And it got me to thinking on the oppression scales in 2024, who would get the most public sympathy? Who would he get canceled? Would a gay white trans supporter? Now this guy's not trans, at least I don't think. Would a gay white liberal guy defending transes people that called a black guy that was not anti-trans, but if you're not an ally, you're an enemy. So if you don't publicly say, I'm perfectly okay with you cutting your wang off and pretending to be whatever you want, or cutting your boobs off and pretending to be whatever you want, if you're not 100% supportive of that, if you even suggest for a second, well, have you talked to a mental health expert to see if this is what's right, to see if have you talked this through? Again, if you're not 100% a supportive ally of the transes, you're an enemy. So what side would the public take here? Would they take the black guy who's just being, common sense? Or would the white guy who called him an N-word get a free pass because he's gay and because he's defending transes people against an evil conservative black guy? Because I'll tell you, white liberals, man, they want to call black conservatives the N-word so bad you can just see it seething in their purple hair, while they're making your coffee at the drive-thru this morning. Oh, they want to do it so bad. But they got their Black Lives Matter shirt on. They want you to know I support the black struggle. Why don't you support it too? I think our side would win. You know, the non-racist, pro, keep your wee-wee attached to you people, I think we would win. But I think there would be a big segment of nut jobs out there who would think it's okay to call a black guy the N-word because he's, in their mind, anti-trans. Air quotes in the studio. What y'all think? Let's read a few of your comments real quick. Guns and Gear text line 769-241-1944. Y'all getting some classic Clay Edwards this morning. I wasn't planning on this. I wasn't planning on coming out swinging like this morning. I went back and listened to the first ever show I did driving in this morning. I don't know, the nostalgia's got me fired up, I guess. Let's see here. Van says the purple hair has rotted their brain. Yeah, it has. CNN has rotted their brain. MSNBC has rotted their brain. Tiffany says, it's like they're just in competition to see who is the most oppressed. Yeah, not to keep talking about Clay Travis, but he is one of my he's one of the big inspirations for this show. He really is. I always like to give credit where it's due. Not that he wants it, but he doesn't know who I am. But anyway, you know, Clay Travis calls it the oppression Olympics. It's like, who can be the most oppressed? You know, if you're black, you know, they say you're oppressed at birth. If you're gay, you're some people are born gay. They are. Again, when I talk about gay stuff, I like to throw this out there. I like just to make sure, in case we have some new audience members out there, there's a difference in gay and LGBTQ agenda. Sometimes I say gay, but I'm referring to the LGBTQ agenda. I don't care if you're gay. I have plenty of gay friends out there. I've never been an anti-gay person, never done anything anti-gay. I've never done anything gay either, but, you know, I'm just saying, I don't care. Live your life, boo-boo. What you do is that's you. I don't care. I'm not going to start calling my gay friends out by name here because, you know, I don't want to put them out there like that. But y'all know I support you, you know, but it's the agenda that I don't support. It's you know, we talked about it at nauseum. It's the gay in school stuff and all that. All right, look, we're up against the break. We're going to come back. We're going to have a short segment. I'm going to stay online with my folks online. Radio audience, we'll be right back. And then we'll have our top of the hour news. We got a whole hour to go. We're going to dive into this Matt Gaetz stuff. Something I stumbled across that I was not aware of yesterday that I think is a game changer for him potentially not being the Attorney General. Interesting little nugget. And the Free the Land lawyers have been summoned from Detroit to Jackson. Y'all know I got plenty to say about that. And it looks like Mississippi's taken the airport from Jackson. The repoed Smith Wheels. Now we're repoing the airport. We'll be right back. All right. You're getting some hate on the text line. Roderick says I wasn't acting. So that's really how he thinks I talk. No, I'm imitating Democrats. I'm imitating white liberals. The white liberal is getting fed up with black folks. I'm just telling y'all. The gay white liberal has just about had enough of the black man standing up and not voting Democrat. They just about had enough. They're about to uninvite themselves from the barbecue. Let's see here. Senile Zeke says Dems are racist or race rats. Oh, absolutely. Tracy says that's got to be horrible to get your tool cut off. It's got to be. It's got to be terrible. Jerry says me and Kim Wade should cut a Repo Joe commercial for Jackson. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go back up on some of your comments here. Wade says, what's up, Wade? Known Wade for a long time. Says, that's what makes local great. Everyone talks. Yep. Roger. Now, I'm going backwards on these, so I apologize, but Roger says, no, don't shorten them up. They pay for that. You're talking about them. Forget the crybabies and continue to let sponsors get their money's worth. Yeah, it's a fine line. I understand it. But it's why we have such great sponsor retention here. And again, guys, I mean, I can't do this if it doesn't make money. If y'all enjoy this, and God, I mean, you're here, so I hope you do. You know, it's the trade-off. Yes, I mean, could I just get online and rant, nonstop? I could. But what I don't think y'all understand is it's hard to get a job after you've been doing this for 4 years, and you've said a lot of things, and you've honed in on the Democrats and their agenda, and you call it out like I do. It's not that easy to go get a job back in retail because of player haters. So this has got to be financially feasible for me too. I don't do it for the money. I didn't get into this for the money. I got into it because I'm passionate about it. If I never made $1, I'd probably still be in the same situation, but I'd be a fired ass from somewhere because a lot of places ain't going to tolerate it. Now, there's things I could do. I could go work offshore. I could do some stuff. Don't get me wrong. I could go work in a warehouse somewhere, but that ain't what I want to do. Anyway, we're going to support our sponsors. We're going to make sure y'all know about them. But I will try not to go into 5-minute spills about testosterone all the time. I understand. That's probably the one they're talking about. That's the one they get the most fired up about. Testosterone replacement therapy changed my life. I'm having to watch the clock here a little bit. I know y'all can't see it, but I've got a window here with the schedule. We're about to come back from the break. It's only going to be about 30 seconds. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We've got about 40 seconds here before the top of the hour news break. We'll be back in 7 minutes. Again, when we come back, we're going to hit the JPD has issued some safety guidelines for Facebook Marketplace. I got one: don't meet anybody in Jackson. The left is collapsing on itself. Chink from the Young Turks has left the Democrat Party. Jackson is about to lose the airport, and we're going to make fun of The View and talk a little Matt Gaetz. We will be right back. All right, guys, I'm not going anywhere with y'all. I'm going to stay in here. I'm not going to make y'all wait 7 minutes. Going back through these comments. All right, I'm going to kind of start. Where's a good starting place? Tiffany says, I love the video you had on YouTube about what places used to be in Jackson and all the abandoned buildings. Yeah, Tiffany, that's how I got my start doing all that. And I was talking to somebody. I met a guy at Burgers Blues Barbecue the other night. I think his name was Aubrey. Shout out to Aubrey if he's watching. And we were talking about he loved those videos. I said, man, I would love to do more, but hell, I did. I covered every inch of Jackson. There's really nothing more to go see. I mean, some stuff's in worse condition. But I'll just be honest, I'm a little scared to go ride through those parts of Jackson now. I was still living in Jackson then, and wasn't, not that I was oblivious to how dangerous it is. When you do it every day, you don't think much of it. Now, I just don't have any interest. You know, showing people how bad Jackson is ain't worth getting shot doing it. I mean, we're talking about the parts of Jackson that I would want to get down into, the rough stuff. Lane says, the Biden DOJ, not the Trump DOJ, the Biden DOJ, intensively investigated possible crimes by Matt Gaetz after 18 months of leaking to destroy his reputation in the press. The Biden DOJ decided they couldn't even charge him and close the case. I think that says it all. I think also on the flip side of that, That's the exact point I make about the Jackson drama, the bribery stuff with Jody and Chockway and Aaron, Angelique and all them. The Biden DOJ. When Democrats go after Democrats, you got to believe it's all legit. It's like if CNN finally has to report something bad about a Democrat, like when they after the debate, when they all finally had to admit Joe Biden was senile and dealing with Alzheimer's, you know it's bad when they you have to believe it. Like, okay, they're finally admitting this. So I mean, it's like what he just said about Matt Gaetz and the DOJ. If they weren't able to prove anything on Matt Gaetz, you got to believe it's true. I mean, because they have politicized the Department of Justice for their enemies. Chunky Dog, says late to the info. Is the state taking over the airport? Maybe they'll finally get some escalators going again. Yeah, a lawsuit that the city had against the state trying to prevent it was thrown out basically yesterday. We're going to get into that. We'll let WLBT tell the story a little bit better than I can, but it does appear to be heading that way. Now, I don't think that the state should just be able to take it. The citizens of Jackson paid for the airport with bonds. It says boycott Disney. Yep. Mike, I've never understood completely about the Jackson airport situation. Mike, I haven't either, man. I have not either, but I think I got a loose enough understanding of it that I can kind of explain what's going on in some sense. Just got a text from somebody. Something big going on in Jackson down with U.S. Marshals. So somebody's got sent a bunch of video and pictures. U.S. Marshals raiding a house in Jackson right now over off Beechcrest Drive near the Colonial Mart area. All right, we're getting ready to come back. Have a little radio silence here for about a minute. Corinthian, I see your post there. All right, Kristen says McClure was Hillcrest. All right, we're coming back. Intro's playing now on the radio. Boom goes the dynamite. We're back. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the airwaves and the internet. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. It's the free-range human show of choice. It's your daily dose of reality radio. Some people say racist. I say realist. Truth can't be racist. Your fifis may get hurt because you can't handle the truth. But the truth can't be racist. That is your wise words of the day from a dumb man. I am Clay Edwards. Welcome in. If you're watching online, you see me wearing my FAFO hoodie this morning. It's the G.I. Joe style. They're in stock, ready to order today, ready to ship today. BuyFAFO.com. That's BuyFAFO.com. If you ordered a shirt that hasn't shipped out yet, I'm waiting on some fresh sizes to come in. I'll get yours shipped out immediately. Thank you for your patience. This segment is going to be brought to you by our good friends over at Pops Auto Sales, Highway 49 South in Florence, Mississippi. Pops is purely the best experience when purchasing a quality late model pre-owned vehicle. Tony and the team down there at Pops, they've always got some nice stuff out there, man. If you go down 49 at all, you see Pops Auto Sales. It's been there, I'd say, probably 15 years, if not longer. And always consistently got nice vehicles out there. But did you know that Pops offers a 3-month, 3,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on all eligible vehicles? Also, they offer extended warranties on vehicles that qualify. You can get a vehicle for $0 down at Pops with approved credit. And to save time, you can secure your application online or secure your approval online by doing the application before you go there. Just go to popsautosales.llc.com. Hit the credit application there or the approval, whatever the link says. You'll figure it out when you get there. Do the credit app. They'll let you know. But, hey, I'll tell you y'all a little nugget of advice, especially if your credit's a little edgy. Always make your best offer as far as like down payment and all that stuff goes. If you got $5,000 to put down and you're edgy, tell them I got $5,000 to put down. Because if that system gives you an automatic turn down, you don't get to negotiate with that system anymore. You want to make that first punch your best punch. If you got bad credit and you're trying to buy a car, you don't get to go play poker at the dealership. You don't get to. You need to be lucky that you're able to get a vehicle. I hate to be like that, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. So, tough love. You get some tough love from Clay this morning. If your credit scores, below 680, you don't really get to go negotiate. You don't get to negotiate about down payment. You need to be able to put the most you can down. Anyway, that wasn't in the script. That was just me giving you a little nugget of advice. So check them out. Pop's Auto Sales, Highway 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. Let's jump into it, shall we? Of course, we are streaming online on the Save JXN Facebook, YouTube, and X this morning. The video will be posted to Rumble after the show. All right, I've been talking about Matt Gaetz. I found out something yesterday that I was not aware of. Matt Gaetz resigned from Congress. Now, I was like, man, he just won his dang re-election. He's really confident that he's getting this position with as Attorney General in the Donald Trump administration on the cabinet. Or the other side of the argument is, he resigned because they can't release the investigation into him. That dang Michael Guest, the pot calling the kettle black on an ethics investigation. That Michael Guest ain't gonna be able to release that investigation showing him that he likes young girls. He likes to party. I guess you could look at it either way is my point. You can look at it like he was trying to keep something hidden, or you can look at it like he was so confident that he went on and resigned his post because he knows he's going to get that job. And I think he is going to get the job. I know a lot of people don't. I think he is, and I'll get into that a little bit. You guys are welcome to call in. The Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. I'd like to hear from some of our more well-endowed guys, not size. I'm talking about, your political knowledge on this stuff. I know a lot of y'all get to keep up with this stuff a little bit more than I do. We'd love to get your thoughts, our Jerrys of the world out there. But I think he gets the position. But anyway, I say all that to say this. He resigned from this Congress, not the next Congress for the election he just won. If this doesn't work out, he's still the congressman for Florida, for his district. I was not aware of that. I thought he stepped down and period. He was going to just be a civilian again in January if this didn't work out, and he doesn't get confirmed. So that blew my mind yesterday. I had no idea. And it just goes to show that we all still learning around here. You think you know everything, and then you get thrown a curveball and like, crap, I didn't know that. So it wasn't nearly the gamble that it looked like on Gaetz' part. And maybe mainstream media just assumed we all knew that, or maybe they didn't know that. But yeah, he'll only not be congressman. Well, assuming pretend he doesn't get confirmed, he would only not be congressman until January, whenever they swear him in. I presume that's all they're done at the same time that Trump's would be inaugurated, around the 20th. I don't know that. I just got a text says he could also get appointed to the Senate to replace Marco Rubio. I've seen that floating around. I don't see that happening. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. And I'm curious where DeSantis falls in all this. Is DeSantis back in line? Is DeSantis 100% back in MAGA? Or is he still salty about what happened in probably the worst presidential primary bid I've ever seen somebody do. Man, I like Ron DeSantis. I'm not a Ron hater, but he had one of the worst campaigns that I've ever seen. Especially if you look at a guy that had so much to gain. He had so much upside. His stock wasn't ever going to be higher. I mean, that was the reason why he ran, right? Because he thought to himself, my stock is never going to be higher than it is right now. Man, were we all wrong. Now, his stock's never going to be lower than it is right now. But he's such a great governor. And when I say his stock, I don't mean like nationally with MAGA. Like, people are salty about the way all that went. But, if you want to look at it from another angle, I like a guy. Let me play devil's advocate a little bit here. I like a guy who bets on himself, who says, all right, I'm the underdog. I get it. Big Don, this is his party until it's not. But there was, we got to remember, there was a lot of stuff going on in the background with Don. I mean, we seriously thought he could have ended up in jail. There was a real chance of Don going to jail. Who would you rather have as our candidate if Don ended up in jail? Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis? I'm raising my hand. Ron DeSantis. So there was a lot of moving parts there, but, I'll say that I prefer, I can respect, I respect Ron for laying it all out there and trying, but his campaign was still horrible. He got some really, really bad advice because Vivek ran and he didn't end up in the bad graces of Trump. Ron just got some bad advice. Let's take a call on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, you're on there.
Hey, good morning, Clay.
Hey, good morning.
This is just a quick fact I want to point out to you and your listeners, and it may be common knowledge, I don't know. I just found out about it after studying a lot deeper yesterday. Donald Trump, our president, will be able to appoint his own cabinet once the Senate and the House go into recess. There's a 10-day window, which is allowed by the Constitution. Now, ordinarily, there'd be a cat fight, and it could never happen. But Senator Thune in the Senate has already said he'll do it, and Speaker Johnson with the House has said he'll do it. And the House, by some caveat, has to allow the Senate to do it. So I know it sounds a little tangled up, but they said if they hit a brick wall with Matt Gaetz, they will go into recess and let President Trump appoint him anyway. I
appreciate the heads up on that because I've been kind of trying to follow what they meant by these recess appointments, and they said it's not as easy as it sounds, but you just explained it really, really simple for me there. And so as long as both leaders of the House and the Senate are on board, it can pretty much it can happen. We just got to make sure that Thune is on board because he was not the choice of Don. He was not who Big Daddy Don wanted as the Senate Majority Leader.
That's right. They wanted Rick Scott, but that didn't happen. But Thune's okay right now. He's trying to cover his butt, but they do have a 10-day window, and of course, there's going to be a lot of screaming on the media, and you'll hear about it. But that doesn't matter to us.
No.
We want to win. President Trump, he has the right to do this, as every other president had, and God knows, look at what Joe Biden put in. These just horrible picks.
But yeah, our Republican senators confirmed Joe Biden's picks. They confirmed Merrick Garland. You're going to sit here and tell me that now you're not going to confirm Donald Trump's pick for AG? Look, yeah. Elon came out and said that he was going to pay to primary. He was going to basically become George Soros and pay to primary any Republican that didn't vote to confirm Trump's picks.
Right.
I love it.
Now it's a fast-moving train, Clay, right now, and you either be on the train or you're going to get run over by it. And thank God the Constitution did have a caveat in there, knowing that at one time or another they would try to stymie an American president, and which is becoming a monarchy through the Senate and the House. But we got good people in there. We did win with the popular vote. We won the majority. We got the Electoral College, and now it's time for us to use our House and Senate to favor our president with this constitutional recess.
I like it, brother. Great call this morning, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You as well. The American people gave Donald Trump a mandate. Democrats, look me in the eye. Looking right in the camera now. A mandate. We gave Donald Trump a mandate to come in and fix this crap that y'all messed up. We're going to get Matt Gaetz as our Attorney General, or there's going to be hell to pay. There's going to be hell to pay if we don't get everything we want. We're just going to take it. Just like y'all did at the border. We're just going to take it. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the military, the Insurrection Act being acted, and the military come and round up all those illegals that came in. Separate them from their families. I don't care. Send the families with them. I don't care. You knew this was going to be a possibility if you came here illegally. You knew it was a possibility if you came here illegally that you were going to be turned right back around. I love that when that guy said, the guy he put over the border, I can't remember everybody's names, but he said, no, we don't have to separate them from their families. They can go too. Mental hair explode. I want to play a video before we go to break. We already ran over, but breaking rules when necessary. I want to play a video real quick, and we're going to end the topic on Matt Gaetz. I know y'all have all seen this by now. You guys are plugged in as plugged in gets. You're one of the most educated, well-versed audiences out there in all of radio and internet land. But there's some stuff I like to get to do with y'all, and I did not get to play this video of The View yesterday or the other day. So we're going to do it now. This was The View host, Sunny Huston. She's the only quasi-attractive one. I mean, like on a drunk late night, leaving pops around the corner, Mike would take her home, a level of attractive on the whole dang thing. But she had to eat her words immediately after accusing Matt Gaetz of sleeping with underage girls. She had to read the legal gave her a mandate that she had to read immediately. It is, look, I hate to tell people to turn off the radio and cut on the online, but she's so mad her lip quivers. It is phenomenal. We're going to hit play right now, and I'm going to shut up.
What about Gaetz? Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
Oh, that is just, I want to see the lip quiver one more time. I need to see the lip quiver.
Okay, Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi.
Oh, there it was right there. There it was. Rewind it back. Just kind of look at it. Just, Oh, right there. I know radio people, y'all can't see it, but it is fabulous. Like, she has to pucker up. She just joined Vince McMahon's Kiss My Ass Club. That was phenomenal. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Too good. Absolute too good. Yeah, stop sharing. Get you guys back up on here. Oh, that was rich. That was so rich. Freddie says drunk at Pops. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. That Pops around the corner special. You looking around 2 a.m, 3 a.m, 5 a.m, I ain't judging. Like, man, I ain't talked to nobody yet. What am I doing around here? You'll work. I've always fancied myself as kind of being the Pops 2 a.m. special. Yeah, I thought I had the video where it showed her making her joke, running her mouth, telling her lies. And then it said 3 minutes later. And it was her doing that because it was literally 3 minutes later is the great part about it. Like she said it, they went to commercial break. When they came back from commercial break, she had to read the legal notice. Oh, it was rich. It was so good. All right, we're going to shift gears. That was good. This has been a fun show today, guys. Thank you all. Y'all been on fire today, man. I appreciate y'all. This is what I meant the other day when I got on here and I said I just needed a couple days rest to kind of clear my brain a little bit, hit the reset button some. I was just getting a little burned out. This to me, this is like me at my best. I love this. Let's see here. Should we, it's always fun to LOL Jackson. Should we talk about that? Should we talk about JPD issuing safety guidelines for Facebook Marketplace? That's always a hit. Or what about the Good Samaritan that got robbed and shot for helping somebody with a stalled vehicle? Something about that story don't all line up for me. Something about that just doesn't all quite line up for me. Let's do the Facebook Marketplace story when we come back. And then I want to take that and we'll jump into the Free the Land. The Free the Land lawyers coming down to try to rescue Chokwe. Trying to pause this. Y'all bear with me. This computer at the studio is kind of slow. So when I try to get a lot of video stuff going at one time, it gets a little choppy. It kind of goes slow on me. So y'all just bear with me. My home computer is built for this. This one really isn't. I'm about to go quiet for just a minute as we get ready to come back from the break and I finish setting this up. Probably less than 60 seconds. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on WYAB. Of course, we're streaming in 4K all day at WYAB.com as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. Just search WYAB. Of course, we are in 4K on the video. Sorry, I'm typing in a website so I can tell y'all something. We're on 4K at SaveJXN on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. That's Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. I know this website, burgersblues.com. What I can't do is text and talk simultaneously. Anyway, I was going to tell you all the Blue Plate special today at Burgers Blues Barbecue. Of course, every day on the Blue Plate, they got red beans and rice and hamburger steak. And then they have an alternating meat every day also. Today is Thursday. That alternating meat is country fried steak. This is country fried steak weather too, by the way. Anytime it gets a little cooler outside, it's country fried steak weather. It's fried food weather because you don't have that heat to contend with after you eat that hot, greasy food. So go enjoy it. Be festive. Anyway, Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, Flowood location. Guys, get over there and check out the Flowood location. It's only been open about a year. It's got the coolest patio/bar area combined. It's got the roll-up garage door that kind of shuts down on half the garage, on half the bar. So you can literally be sitting outside and inside at the same time. Get over there, check it out. It's right there at the entrance in front of Dick's Sporting Goods. That's Burgers, Blues, Barbecue. Look, don't forget, the holiday season is upon us. It's not too late to let Burgers, Blues, Barbecue handle your turkey, ham, barbecue needs. Anything you need to feed the family for Thanksgiving and, of course, Christmas coming up, they got you covered. You need a space to entertain people, they got you covered. 500 to 500 people. They got the big patios, heated and all that stuff, covered and heated at multiple locations. Consider Burgers, Blues, Barbecue for your holiday party, and, of course, for your holiday catering needs, and, of course, the Blue Plate specials every day. And don't forget, burgers is in their name. They obviously have great award-winning burgers as well. I've eaten there twice this week already, and I didn't get a burger either time. Got chicken wings, smoked right off the smoker, good and healthy. Got the Nashville hot. Little secret here. That's probably why I wasn't here yesterday morning. That Nashville hot worked a number on your boy, but it was worth it. No regrets. No regrets, not a single one. All right, let's jump back into the news, shall we? Okay, so JPD has released some guidelines, we'll call them, for shopping on Facebook Marketplace. I got to change the background. That looks terrible, all that purple. They've changed they put out some guidelines. They could have just said, don't do this in Jackson. That would have covered everything. Y'all know, if y'all follow me for a while, I tell you all the time, do not meet people off Facebook Marketplace in Jackson. Do not. This is why you go to Ellis Autoplex to sell your vehicle. Do not go meet somebody off Marketplace and take a certified check from some thug off Marketplace. It's fake. I'm just telling you, it's fake. Don't do it. Go to Ellis Autoplex. Let Casey cut you a real local check on the spot. Boom. Easy breezy. Don't deal with the Facebook Marketplace, the Marketplace maniacs or the Craigslist crazies. Don't get your car stolen. You know your insurance will not cover it. Unless something's changed, and I'll talk to Jamie Creel downstairs. Y'all ask him. Unless something's changed, if you sell your car and get given a bad check, your insurance will not cover that. Don't be that guy. Don't have that big sad boo-boo face because you did that. I know you get excited. I'm on like a Clay's Greatest Hits tour today. I know you've all heard this a million times, but we're getting into this time of the year where I think it's important. We got new audiences. The show's growing bigly. Don't get so excited because you're selling something expensive and you're like, oh gosh, I didn't know if I was going to be able to make the next payment. I really need to sell that. If it's too good to be true, it's usually too good to be true. I'm getting into this, I promise, but I want to say this. If you meet one of these thugs, and they don't have to look like your typical rap video thug to be a thug. Anybody that's willing to do some robbing and write you a bad check is a thug. Race be damned, how they dress be damned. Tell them this, especially if it's a local check. If it ain't a local check, don't even entertain none of this stuff. If it's a local check, don't do it on a Saturday. Just say, hey, we're going to have to wait till Monday. We're going to have to wait till Monday. You're going to meet me at the bank. It says Community Bank there. All right, cool. Meet me at Community Bank or Trustmark or whoever. Meet me there, and we're gonna go and we're gonna do it there. You got to verify the funds. You're gonna find out immediately if that check is real or not. Because they're gonna say, okay, let's go, cool. Or they're gonna be, no, man, no, man. You don't trust me? Nope, I sure don't. Your pants are hanging down below your ass and you're wearing a wife beater with a bunch of fake jewelry. I do not trust you. It's 5 of y'all piled up in a Dodge Charger or a Nissan Altima. I do not trust you. I am profiling just a little bit here. Yes, I am. Yes, yep, I am. Admittingly, I am. Let's see what WOBT. Let's see what JPD. Let's check out their suggestions and recommendations for shopping on Facebook Marketplace in Jackson, Mississippi. This is from WLBT.
Facebook Marketplace safety guidelines, and some officials, including Chief Joseph Wade, discuss those guidelines further with us. Jackson police say following these guidelines can make your Facebook Marketplace experience safer and stress-free. Some of the basic steps when meeting up with someone from social media are to
don't
meet in public, safe locations. Do not go alone and stick to daylight hours. Following these steps can be the difference between a safe transaction and a violent crime.
And, sadly, social media does a lot of great things.
This is Councilman Ashby Foote.
But it's also, a place where predators can try to take advantage of people that are, law-abiding citizens.
You have to realize that you could be a victim of a crime. Not only the scam, but maybe of an armed robbery or carjacking. It's happening.
And it's important to remember that the holidays are a seasonal gateway for scammers or other questionable individuals to make their move. So be extra cautious when doing your holiday shopping this year.
Okay, I thought they would have had more on there. Hold on. They've got some stuff down here. Here's some of the things I said. Meet in a public place, safe location. Look, all joking aside, other than don't. If you insist on meeting somebody off Facebook Marketplace, well, I don't care where you're at, Jackson, Brandon, Pearl, Madison, whatever, meet at the police department, sheriff's department, or fire department. One of those three places. Not just a well-lit area. Meet there where people have a civic duty to help protect your butt. CYA, cover your ass. CYA. Always think about that. There's some people who have a sworn duty to help cover y'all butt. Just remember, sheriff's department, police department, and fire department. Now, I'm not trying to put no extra work on those guys. I'm just saying, if somebody's willing to meet you at them places, they're probably game to do the right thing. That's a good way to judge that. If they say no, it's just like the bad check thing. Say thanks, no thanks. See ya, wouldn't want to be you. The other thing that said is do not go alone. Share your location. That's very important. Share your location. Women, and I'm saying this as a girl dad here, women, if you're going out with some guy for the first couple of times, even if you're trying to be low-key about it, you don't want anybody to know, always let somebody know. Everybody's got a friend that can keep a secret, even if you're going off cheating on somebody or they're a married person or whatever. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, everybody's got a friend that knows their dirt. Let somebody know who you're with. You know, don't come up missing for a couple of days and nobody knew what you was off doing. Let somebody know who you're with. Anyway, video the interaction. All right, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, if you can. I ain't really trying to be put on video. I may be selling something I don't want somebody to know I'm selling. Just saying. I may be buying something I don't want somebody to know I'm buying. I ain't even talking about nothing illegal or anything. I'm just saying. Set boundaries. Stick to daylight hours. Trust your instincts. I can't highlight that one enough. Trust your instincts. Chief Wade says, if something feels too good to be true, then it probably is. That's exactly what I was saying about the checks. You know, it was just last week that 2 people got shot on a Facebook Marketplace meetup. Don't even know what they were trying to sell, but happened right there on County Line Road in front of Burlington Coat Factory and on the Jackson side, of course. This Black Bonnie and Clyde couple met this guy to try to buy something from him or sell one or the other. I think it was to buy something. He shows up. They go to rob him. He shoots the guy, gets shot himself. I'm not sure which one happened first. The bad guy, the Clyde in this story, is now paralyzed from getting shot. But that's karma. He effed around. He found out. No sympathy. Not a lick of sympathy for our bad guy. Honestly, knock on wood here, that's the best possible outcome. Because he gets to live the rest of his life paralyzed because he tried to kill a guy. He showed up to rob a guy. And it was probably, I bet you guys, it was worth something under $500. And that's probably being real gracious. He was thinking it was worth that much. So, but let's just say something under $500. This guy shot a guy, and he's now going to get to spend the better part of the rest of his life paralyzed in jail. Unless the jails say, hey, it's going to cost us more to keep him than it's worth. We're just going to, house arrest sounds great for this one. And now you're going to have family members take care of him for the rest of his life, if not in jail, because he went and got himself paralyzed, effing around and finding out. I hadn't even thought about that. This story actually has a happy ending. Not that kind, Democrats. Let's take a break. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. I mean, real talk. So I can cuss now. He fucked around and found out. All right, let's see. Let's see here. We are still sticking around live during the commercial break. Man, we got a big audience watching this thing. Thank you, guys. Thank y'all. I can dig it. I think when we come back, we're going to shift gears. We're going to shift gears and talk about Chockway in the airport and all that good stuff. Roger has a point here I want to hit real quick. He says, I think he's lying about fake checks. Ask Anthony Mitchell. He took a fake. Yeah, Anthony Mitchell's one of the most badass dudes you'll ever meet in your life. He is legitimately one of the best jiu-jitsu fighters in America. And somebody wrote him a bad check for his Grand Cherokee. They ended up finding it, thankfully. I think Capitol Police found it for him. But it can happen to anybody. If it can happen to Anthony Mitchell, he's a smart guy. He's a smart dude. He's a badass. I mean, he's a guy I want in my foxhole. If anything happens. If society collapses, I'm trying to find out where Anthony Mitchell's at. Because I want to jump in whatever hole he's in. Because I know we got a puncher's chance of surviving this thing. Yeah, anybody that thinks that I'm lying about that bad check stuff, dude, I worked in the car business for 12 years. I saw it all the time. People coming in there hearing horror stories. I've got multiple friends, people that it's happened to. I don't want to tell too many names that it's happened to because it's kind of embarrassing, right? I mean, Roger mentioned Anthony's name there, so I didn't mind saying it, but it's kind of embarrassing because, you know, you try to be a good person and you try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And next thing you know, they didn't give you a bad check. There's this whole little gang in Jackson that does it. We were a big part of getting this one little gang busted that was doing it, and bragging about it on Instagram and stuff, thinking only their little fellow thugs were the ones seeing these posts. I love snitching on these thugs. Love it. You know, we've got a network of investigators online that follow all this stuff, that follow a lot of these thug accounts. And I spend a lot of time snitching. Oh, I love doing it. Why do you think I get along with cops so good? I give them good leads. Nothing makes me happier than knowing I got some little Jackson thug put in jail. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on WYAB. Of course, streaming worldwide, WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. This segment brought to you by Boykin Contractors. Look, Boykin can do it all, man, from roofing, remodeling, additions, repair, and construction jobs. All over the metro area they'll do it at. Based out of Florence, Mississippi, so you're getting a good local guy in Bryce Boykin. Tons of satisfied and repeat customers. All you got to do is just go Google their name or hit them up in Facebook. Look at all the good reviews, a lot of pictures of their work. They're on their Facebook page, a lot of the before and after photos. Look, here's one of the most important parts here. Bryce is a Christian, and he operates through honesty and integrity as a Christ-centered company. B, that's the most important thing. B, the second most important thing, he's licensed and bonded through the Mississippi Board of Contractors. Guys, don't let somebody unlicensed or without insurance. He's licensed, bonded, insured through the Board of Contractors in the state of Mississippi. You let somebody that's not insured or bonded and licensed and all that good stuff work on your stuff and they screw something up, guess whose insurance ain't going to pay for it? Yours. Just like taking a bad check for a car, your insurance ain't going to pay for it. So don't try to cut corners and save money, you know, because your buddy can do it on the side. Some project, yes, getting a baseboard replaced, getting the door hung, there's some things, sure, whatever. But when you got a substantial job that actually requires pulling a permit, doing things up to code properly, you need to reach out to Bryce Boykin at Boykin Contractors. Give him a shout, 601-951-7336, or just Google or Facebook Boykin, Boykin Contractors in Florence, Mississippi. All right, guys, let's take a victory lap. The state is most likely taking the airport from the Free the Land thugs in Jackson. Maybe the escalators will start working again. Maybe they'll get doors hung on the bathrooms so women can use the restroom in private. Maybe they'll get some retail outlets in the airport. Maybe they can stop the bleeding out there Maybe they'll start cutting their grass on their part of the parkway. I could go on and on and on. But it all started with a big court win yesterday. Shout out to Josh Harkins, my senator from out there in Rankin County, who's been the face of this fight for a long time now, taking a lot of heat from the Free the Land thugs for sticking with it, and hopefully about to bring home a big victory. Let's go to WLBT and kind of let them bring us up to date on exactly what happened.
He's been battling the state for control of Jackson Airport for almost a decade now.
That fight may be coming to an end. 3 on Your Side's Valicia Gavin explains how the appeals court ruling could potentially clear the way for an airport board appointed mostly by the state.
So Courtney Ann and Howard, the United States Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals vacated a federal judge's decision to allow new members of the Airport Commission to be added to a lawsuit for the city to maintain control of the Jackson Airport. This is the 4th time the Fifth Circuit has made a ruling regarding this suit, and they say Groundhog Day has come to an end. The city of Jackson and the Jackson Municipal Airport Authority have been in a legal battle with the state for over 8 years to block a bill that replaces JMAA with the Jackson Metropolitan Airport Authority, whose members are appointed by the state, city, and surrounding counties. JMAA was approved by a federal judge to add 2 new members to their original complaint after the Fifth Circuit previously called the suit moot, since none of the original interveners were still involved in the case. The Fifth Circuit is striking down that judge's decision. Some lawmakers are pleased, others hope the city and JMAA keep fighting.
By allowing others to come in and be on this board and make decisions about how that land is going to be developed, how it's going to be used in ways that may not be of interest or betterment of the city of Jackson.
Now, let me stop him right there. I know technically that land is the city of Jackson, but how that land gets developed absolutely should have nothing to what's best for the citizens of Jackson. The citizens of Jackson have shown us time and time again that they don't know what's best for themselves. They just don't. Let's just say the quiet part out loud. Citizens of Jackson, overwhelmingly, at least 70% of them, are really, really bad decision makers. The citizens of Pearl and Flowood and Brandon are directly affected by what is developed around that airport and should have way more say-so than a single person in Jackson, Mississippi does about the development around that airport. I don't care how y'all like that. I don't care if you think that's racist. That's realist, not racist. We had this conversation earlier. The truth is not racist. You may not like it. It may hurt your fee-fees. It may go against diversity, equity, inclusion, and CRT, but it ain't racist. Let's continue. I got all kind of thoughts this morning.
Fifth Circuit Court says this suit is nothing more than a political dispute between state and local governments over control of an airport and the land around it. One side has dragged that fight into federal court by tricking it out in equal protection colors. That won't fly.
Boom! That won't fly. Tricking it out. Oh, man, Chokwe, you just took another big L. Took another big L, Chokwe. Rakia, free the land. Free the city. Free the people.
They are ordering the district court to dismiss the entire suit. Now, the city says this ruling does not stop their efforts, saying in part, the city continues to have viable claims under state and federal law, none of which were before the Fifth Circuit, and none of which should have been impacted by the court's ruling. The city of Jackson intends to continue to advocate for the rights of its citizens and elected officials to manage its own property, including the Jackson Medgar Wiley Evers International Airport. Now, JMAA says they are aware of this ruling and are not willing to comment on pending litigation. Felicia Gavin.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. We're taking back Smith Wills. We're taking over the airport. We're back, baby. We took over the White House, the Senate. We already had the House. We kept it. We got the state. Jackson, you're next, as Goldberg would say. We're taking over Jackson. We're going to whip y'all into shape. Going to whoop y'all into shape. We're going to drag you into MAGA, whether you like it or not. We're here to save Jackson, Mississippi. I can't wait. Let's take our last break, come back, land the plane for the day here on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, some stories that we did not get to that I guess we can do real quick. Let's see here. Did y'all see this one? I'm going to try to squeeze this in the commercial break here. Did y'all see this one? I made a video about it. I forgot to post it this morning. I will post it. Crap. I will post it as soon as I get off the air. About the man shot while helping the person in the stalled vehicle. 15-second commercial's got to play before I can do it, but get it pushed over here real quick. Crap. Skip the commercial. All right. Give me 2 seconds here. Let me get it up on the screen for y'all. Now, I tell you, I just talk about smelling bullshit. I smell bullshit with this one.
Police releasing new details in that shooting in North Jackson earlier this afternoon. 3 on Your Side was first on the scene of that shooting near Beasley Road and State Street. Detectives say the shooting victim told them he tried to help someone with a stalled car. The victim drove that car, then it stopped. When he was under the hood, the suspect talked and then shot him. The suspect then drove off. The victim is expected to recover.
In Canton, one alderman is
Tillman's 2-for-1 recliner sale. Buy one.
Somebody in the comments says, when you say we, you mean white people, right? Well, you can take that however you want. I mean, we welcome black folks and Mexicans and everybody else and Asians into our party. We got a big umbrella here. I mean conservatives. Now, conservative, just so happen to be majority white in Mississippi, but no, I don't mean specifically white people. I just mean good decision makers who aren't going to screw things up. That's what I mean. So yeah, you can take that however you want. But I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm not a white Democrat. I actually had the wrong comment highlighted. There we go. But Robert's reply to it was great, though. You know, I think like a real important question to ask when we get into this white-black stuff. Why people are like, oh, Clay, I mean, crime happens everywhere. Crime happens everywhere. There's poor white people, too. There's poor white areas. True. There's a lot of white people, a lot of poor white poverty-stricken areas in Mississippi. There's a lot of white people on welfare, trailer parks. But you know what I've never seen happen in a poor white area? I've never seen all their gas stations are safe to go to. They don't have 100+ homicides every year. I'm just saying, I mean, there's a tenacity for violence in urban black communities that there's not for anywhere else. I mean, somebody needs to explain that to me. Why is it in urban black communities that the violence is so bad? Why is the first inclination when you disagree with somebody is to shoot them? It's not like that in other communities. We shoot deer, not each other. I mean, that's just real talk. It ain't racist if it's fact. It's being a realist. I know you ain't going to like that. I get it. It's tough. Welcome back in. In the comments section online here, as we get ready to land the plane for the day, a fella said, when you say we, you mean white people, right? No, I mean conservatives. Now, yes, we'll admit that the Conservative Party is majority white in Mississippi, but I mean people who aren't going to screw things up. People who have the area's best interest in mind, not their pocketbooks. see Jody Owens, Chokwe Lumumba, Aaron Banks, Angelique Lee as example A, allegedly, of course. Well, two of them. Anyway, I ain't going down that rabbit hole right now. We need people who are going to do the right thing. These Democrats that have infected everything that they touched with just a Democrat death culture, the woke mind virus, the Lumumba mind virus, the free the land mind virus. Everything they touch goes to crap. Everything. That airport is too close to good God-fearing folks, homes, and communities. And what happens around that airport is too important to allow the free the land thugs any say-so in the development of it. They can't even keep the airport up and running right as it is. Why doesn't the escalator work? Because they don't care. I've learned one thing about, I'm going to say something, y'all ain't going to like this, but I don't care. Black Democrats, in particular, I'm talking to y'all specifically. It's obvious that you don't care if the plane crashes. As long as you're at the controls when it crashes, you seem to be just fine with it crashing. And that's a damn shame. And the rest of us are not going to go along with this anymore. We are fighting back. We're done with it. We're done being drug along to the bottom of the ocean because you insisted on crashing the plane into a body of water. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.